Hey, St. Louis. In my search for the shortest street in the city, I stumbled upon another short story that I couldn't pass up. A stubby little chode of a road, tucked away in a small corner of old McCree Town. Saddle up your horses and join me on this next episode of Word on the Street, Racecourse Avenue. This story's genesis lies with Colonel Samuel McCree, a North Carolina native and distinguished West Point graduate who served valiantly in the Mexican-American War of 1846 to 48. He returned from the conflict and soon thereafter settled in St. Louis, where he returned to the land bestowed to him by his brother north of the Shaw neighborhood. Sadly, after surviving the hardships of war, he fell ill and perished during the St. Louis cholera epidemic of 1849. His wide tracts of land under his family farm were then inherited by his widow, Miss Mary McCree. After the Civil War, the abundance of cavalry horses led to a rise in horse racing in the States, and in 1865, a jockey club known as the Laclede Association bought up some of the McCree family farm from Mary and constructed the Laclede racetrack in 1866. The popularity of the track grew, and in 1868, the purse grew as high as $20,000, nearly $350,000 in modern cash. The racetrack only lasted a few years, however, and was closed in 1869. The land was subdivided into what would be called McCree City. Streets were paved and homes were built, but this land's past would not be forgotten, and the road that lay roughly on the southern border of the Laclede racetrack would eventually be named Racecourse Avenue. Time rolled on, and the proud community was absorbed by the city of St. Louis's final boundary expansion in 1876. It was also this year that St. Louis residences voted to separate the city from the county in what was known as the Great Divorce. And it was the beginning of the long city-county issue that still is discussed to this day. McCree City then became McCree Town, and the neighborhood held a vibrant community alongside the Shaw neighborhood until 1973. It was then that the Highway 44 construction struck a gash through the heart of the neighborhoods, and while Shaw continued to flourish with the botanical gardens and other attractions, McCree Town was cut off from the foot traffic from the south and began to decline. It quickly deteriorated over the next decades, and people left and crime moved in. McCree Town soon became Cracktown. This urban decay festered until 1997, when neighborhood leaders met and created the Garden District Commission. Millions of dollars were raised towards helping bringing this area back, and things were finally looking up for the old neighborhood. The road ahead was full of potholes and speed bumps in an era that was greatly documented in an RFT article that I'll link in the description. But gradually, derelict homes were torn down and replaced with new single-family homes, and McCree Town was rebranded in 2004 as Botanical Heights. Today, the neighborhood formerly known as McCree City is a night and day difference from the rough years. A younger generation has moved in, and the area has benefited greatly from it. And while the tiny little street by the train tracks doesn't have a whole lot of action going on, aside from the occasional cat, the Top Flow Bar and Grill currently acts as the hospitable gatekeepers to Racecourse Avenue. If you ever find yourself down at the Top Flow for a drink, take a moment to think back to all the money-trading hands as the horses galloped and the crowds roared right at this spot over 150 years ago. And that's the word on the street. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I know I had a lot of fun making it, and I know you enjoyed that good old music by Al Halliday and the East Side Rhythm Band. They've got a new album out, and it's incredible. You should check it out. And you should also check out some more Streets videos. Take care.